exhausting. So that's why these guys, they're going to sleep up to 18 to 22 hours a day. So it's quite special to be able to see these guys awake. So then they've got a 2-hour window when they're going to be up active and having a little bit of a nibble on that leaf. But some other characteristics we have in a koala besides their digestive system is that they've got those round fluffy ears, the large spoon-like nose, and some super sharp claws. So you can see why these guys were mistaken as bears, but they're not bears at all. What they actually are is a marsupial, and for those of you who know a marsupial, you might be thinking of the kangaroo. They have a pouch. That's like the koala. They also have a pouch, but it's not like the kangaroo's pouch at all. It actually faces back the front on a koala. So it might be a little bit awkward for a little girlie that lives up in the treetops, but it's not at all, because what they have is muscles around that pouch that act like a drawstring. So if they ever have any joeys, they're not going to be going anywhere because they're very secure in that pouch. But another cool thing about our koalas is that they have a very short gestation period. That's just our fancy word for pregnancy. But for a koala, it is only 35 days. So if you're a mum in the audience, you might be a little bit jealous of that. But as a result of a 35-day pregnancy, when the little joey's born, you can only imagine how teeny tiny he is. He's about the size of your fingernail. He's blind, he's pink, he doesn't have any fur whatsoever. But from the very get-go, what a little joey has is a fantastic sense of smell and some super strong forearms. So they're able to make that journey all the way from the birth canal up to mummy's pouch, and that's where they're going to stay for about 6 months. Now, after 6 months, our beautiful little joey, he starts to re-emerge, and learn those surviving skills that are essential for life. But before a koala can get onto this side of eucalyptus leaf, there has to be something very special in between that and the milk to prepare their stomach for it. So that's where the mother koala comes in. She helps her little joey out, and she makes him a very first special meal called pap. Now guys, there is a little analogy to prepare you for pap. So if you could think of this first food-like substance like a yogurt, it has good bacteria, so we eat yogurt, it gets all the nice bacteria into our stomachs, it helps us break down our food. But the koala, their first sort of meal actually isn't of yogurt, it's actually of mummy's poo. So, every season when the joeys come out, we get the beards running around Symbio, but anyway, it is very important, not because it's just so shocking, but anyway, it's important because what's actually happening is that the joey's digestive system is getting shaped for the rest of their lifetime, so preparing them to eat this leaf. So koala, they're not born able to eat eucalyptus leaf. It's passed on from generation to generation pooey. Pretty cool. But we'll move on to more cute things about joeys. So at around 6 months as well, they're a bit too big for the pouch, and a lot of them don't like to believe it, but they are. So they come on out and they get a piggyback on their mother's backs, as she basically goes from tree to tree just looking for some fresh leaves to eat. Now, if you want to see a koala, they're going to be living in a home range habitat, and that's basically a bunch of trees that koala likes to eat, and where they overlap with their neighbours, that's where you start to see social interaction happening. Now, in breeding season, that's what we're in now, what will happen is that male koalas, they'll run around from the base of the trees, very quick, and they'll mark their scent on their territory. Now, they can do that with a scent gland that they have right in the middle of their chest. It is extremely obvious. It's this big yellow marking that they have there. Helps us tell them apart from the males and the females. But it reeks. But when they're doing that, when they mark their scent, they're letting the females in the area know that they're there, because they can smell them on the wind. Another method that a male koala will have is that he can be super loud. So the koala can bellow. Has anyone heard a koala bellow before? Yeah, a couple have.
Watch some videos on it.
Yeah, they sound like a lawnmower pretty much. And they get going, really deep resonating sound that they can really
deep.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating when you see them going. For such docile, subtle creatures that you have, they can be fantastically loud. But that's their way of also letting females know they're in that area. And when you hear a koala bellow, you pretty much know that's heralding breeding season. But we'll move on from that. If you do want to see a koala out in the wild, they're going to be located up and down the east coast of Australia. So we've got them in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. But the special thing about our koalas up in Queensland is that they are super teeny tiny. They're about 5 kilos, very small, but if you were to travel down south, the koala continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. They get up to about 15 kilos. So down in Victoria, they are officially the incredible hulks of the koala world. They are massive, but they need to be that big because it's a lot colder down there. So they need all that extra fur to keep themselves warm in the winter months. Like, looking at these beautiful creatures behind me, obviously they've gotten the name for being very cute, very cuddly, they look very soft, but they actually have little to no body fat. I think she's a bit embarrassed. Anyway, this beautiful girl, little Isabel here, she has little to no body fat, and that's because this diet of eucalyptus-leaf, it's like living off a diet of lettuce pretty much. It's so low in nutrition. So all the energy they do get from it goes towards the very, very important stuff, such as eating and sleeping and eating again. So you can kind of see where I'm going with that. They're very amazing critters. But where they really like to sit is quite high up in the trees, because that's where you're going to have all the freshest growth of the plant. That's the tip, and it's like the chocolate of the tree for the koala, and they will just indulge in that. Now, as well, when they're so high up in the trees, they're very hard to spot, because what they all have on their little bottoms there is this white cloud-like speckled, white cloud-like speckled fur, that if you were to look up, it kind of looks like a cloud fly. So they blend in perfectly with their environment. But not only are these guys so hard to spot out and out, just because they're perfectly designed for the Australian landscape, but sadly, we don't have as many as we once did. So since European settlement, these guys have lost over 80% of their habitat. So you guys can only really imagine what's happened to the population. But on a positive note, we can always turn things around, and it does start with us. It starts with individuals just making little decisions to buy recycled paper. It's going to help decrease the demand for trees, because what's happening is that we've been knocking down their homes so we can build ours, which has been quite devastating for koala. Two other simple ones which we could all do is drive safely and just keep those cats in at night. And that's going to make a major difference for our koalas, and hopefully, if everyone bands together, we'll still have koalas in the wild within the next 30 years. But very amazing creatures. I won't finish on a sad note. I'll tell you one more cool thing about these guys. Very unique animals. Okay, so they actually have 2 thumbs on each paw, which is really cool when you see them climbing. 2 thumbs allows them to jump securely from branch to branch. They're actually one of the only animals, aside from primates, that have a fingerprint. So very funky things about our koala ladies that we have behind me. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up like that. If you have any questions whatsoever about these guys behind me, please feel free to come up for a little bit of a chat. As you can see, I just love talking about them. But I'll let you know what's happening after this. We do have Happy Snaps photos opportunity. So if you guys have come wanting to get a photo with a koala, you can have that done very soon, just up here, where we'll be able to take care of you. As well, guys, again, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to share the koala with you, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video and just have a blast with all the animals. Thank you very much.
Alright, first man.
Hey! What's in here? Well, we have a little bit of a couple.